Alright lads and lasses, welcome along. Tuppence Tuesday, back once again, eh? Let's have a talk on this, because this is a topic that's really important, right? Control and personalisation. Power BI has got some really key features that are there, that are different, unique to it. I haven't found them in another platform, I haven't found them elsewhere, right? So let's go through, do some of the basic coverings of it, and then we'll have a little demo of it, and we'll crack on and we can make sure that you get your head around it, alright? Perfect, right, get rid of me face so we can actually have a look at some of these slides. I spent some time building and all that, alright? Alright, so it's all about control, yeah? Everything with these things is always all about control. I've got my little empire, I need to remain in control of it, yeah? Probably not the most politically sensitive thing I've ever said, but honestly, this is what it boils down to, right? We're all guilty of it, we've all done there, we've all been there and thought, right, I really need to make sure I look important, right? Now, when you're coming through and you're putting in a brand new reporting solution for a business, high cost, these are not cheap things to do, right? You're going to be getting involved with a consultancy company, you're going to be getting involved, getting workshops, scanning, coming out with some output that's then going to come through, and this is going to become a core deliverable set that we want for whatever the data sets that we're using are going to be, right? And what I keep seeing is somewhere on that page is this, it's a key deliverable to be able to export data to Excel or CSV, right? Why? If you're telling me, right, oh, we're putting this thing in, right, it's going to be dead good, it's going to do all the reports that we might ever need, right, but it has to be able to also export to Excel so it can do all the reports that we might need. Do you see the problem with that? Where's your source of truth going to be? Where's your important part of your data strategy, right? And that's what it boils down to, really, is at some point the rubber has to hit the road. And if you haven't got to the point where you're convinced that your new analytics platform that you're bringing in at great expense to your business, and I've seen costs high six figures, even into the seven figures range for these platforms being brought in, right? And if you're saying, well, for me personally, I would far rather keep using my Excel that we have a £200 license for, right? Wait, mate, honestly, give your head a shake, right? Excel has a place. Don't get me wrong, I'm not belittling Excel, saying Excel's not right, but if that's a core deliverable of your project, you just need to be thinking clearly about what you're doing, okay? You're bringing in something that you've spent a lot of time, effort and money on to effectively deliver your core report packs, and then all you're doing is taking data straight out of it into Excel. Churn happens in that Excel, and over time the value that you've just invested in is eroded because Jeff, Steve, Sandra, whoever it is, his Excel spreadsheet report has got a different value than the big main business report. Well, we like her number, his number, whoever's number better than that one, so we're swapping. It happens everywhere, and I've never seen it not happen. So avoid like the plague. So, you know, what's this got to do with Power BI, you're going to say, yeah? So with Power BI, we talk about the semantic data layer, and effectively the other thing is starting to just let go, relax. It's not a big deal. So having your data layer locked is important. That needs to be controlled. You have to be governing it. That's the important bit. That's the semantic data layer that you've got. This is what our sale is. This is what our customer is in our business. This is what our product is, right? These elements need to be governed, controlled and managed, right? That is fact, yeah? That's where you might need IT's involvement. You know, they can support, help manage that for you, right? Put them controls in place so that, well, frankly, so that you can't fiddle. You know, it's common sense, isn't it, right? The next layer down is your golden report layer, and that has to be, this is your core deliverables. This is your, I need to have me accounts payable or me accounts receivable or me sales reports or me you know, me product development lifecycle reports or me, you know, AN other report available from day X. They need to be available in a monthly, in a quarterly, in an annual cycle, right? Those are your golden reports, yeah? And your core data project is what you should be doing to deliver those, right? Yeah, makes sense, huh? So Your data project is going to build that data model structure and that platform for your semantic data layer. And then these golden reports are going to connect into that data model and serve up core reports for business value, right? And the problem that people have is when you get to this end user reporting, this is where it is. And you get the same thing, where it's ad hoc, it can't possibly be planned for. You're right, it is ad hoc, it can't be planned for. It's a business-led development cycle as well, because it's ad hoc. Something happens, Steve, Jeff, Sandra, Sue, whoever else we can pick, can you get together, build an Excel spreadsheet and tell her what's going on and give us a strategy. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. And they'll come away, they'll get their data set built and they'll come back with something, right? That's all well and good. What Power BI does though, is it gives you the capability of actually doing all this within Power BI, within the platform. You can connect it to Excel, you can do it in Excel, but if you can do it all in the platform that you're going to be visualizing it in and you're going to use as your golden report layer as well, isn't that then where you want to be doing it? Okay, so there's lots of ways, there's a whole myriad of ways that you can start doing this within Power BI, right? But what I want to do today is I want to cover, it's one of the areas that's been in for a while and an element that's just kind of landed in the platform in the last couple of months, right? We're going to have a look at them both today, right? I think it's a good time to do it and we'll see what you think, yeah? So persistent filtering is one thing that can go a long way towards helping remove the need to analyze in Excel, yeah? So I've got an app, it's built, and I can put some filters on the page. I could add a few extra filters and all of a sudden my wider audience can just change a few filters and here's the report that they need to see today, okay? Dead easy. The nice thing is, next time they go back to Power BI and look at that report, it'll remember the last place they were and this is what it will show them. So if you've got someone who, well, my interest is in the West Coast sales, they can pick West Coast sales from the filters and there's West Coast, or the West Coast, here's my sales report for the West Coast. Perfect, right? That's absolutely amazing. Being able to do that is great. Another thing that's come through now is this personalization of visuals. So if I was doing my West Coast report view and one of the charts just doesn't make sense when it's filtered down to that level, I can change it using visualization, using personalization of visuals. Visualization, personalization just sounds weird, doesn't it, Lee? Right? And the best bit, the added benefit, the sugar on top, the little cherry there, right, on top of that whipped cream cherry, right, is it supports personal bookmarks. So I'm not, as the report creator, having to build bookmarks for everybody, right, which honestly would be a nightmare to do that. I can put bookmarks in and that's something you can do and think about doing, but personal ones are ones I can build that fit my needs as the consumer and are working for me. And it's so easy to do, right? So we'll go through, we'll do a demo of that, right? And you can tell us what you think. Alright, champion. Alright, so here we are, the dataset 6 dataset, yeah? This is the KPI tables that were built, right? If you haven't watched it, go and watch the dataset 6 videos. I think they were really good, right? This was built in the last one. Now, I might come and say, I want to see this report at any given time, and I might want to know, depending on the team involved, they might want to be able to know what platform was involved, was there. Right? So we'll be able to pick, oh, here's a platform, right? Or here's a platform. Or they might want a combination because they might want the Nintendo one. So Wii versus Wii U and then some of the other stuff. Right? So having the ability to pick from drop downs on the far right hand side of the report makes that really easy for people. Now this is in Power BI desktop, so that doesn't make much sense, does it? But I want to show you this first. Yeah, I've put these 3 filters in. Let's minimize them all. So we've got developer, publisher and platform in the all filters pages, or filter on all pages area. Yeah, filter on page is useful as well. Filter on all pages. There is a filter on visual that you can do. You can see here we've put it where the number of games is over 10. For it made sense to do it this way, right? And that makes sense. There are things that you will do with those. It's important to remember, if you click to hide the visual pane, it hides it from everybody so the report readers can't see it. If you want to hide particular elements, so like we might say, well, we want to hide that we've got a filter of over 10 on there, right? We can leave it in here, or we can hide it. So you've got the little eye icon, tick, hide, so on and so forth, yeah? The main thing you've got to do to get all this to work is we've got to get into the options. So in the options page, one of the things that you need to look through is specifically to do with your report page, your report. So the report settings. Some nice things to do for this is the filter experience. So allow users to change filter types, you can do. Enable search, filter pane, it's useful. This is one I would really recommend, changing the default visual interaction from cross-highlighting to cross-filtering. Cross-filtering is a more normal thing that people are used to seeing, okay? So tick the box. By default, when Power BI first came out, it was cross-highlighting. So that's why the checkbox is there. Unfortunately, it's still a report level setting, but I would recommend ticking it for every report you build. Persistent filtering, this is obviously where you want to make sure you save it. So I recommend leaving it unticked, but if you're having problems with it, you might want to tick it. And the last one, based on what we're going to talk about, is to make sure you've got this ticked. By default, this is not ticked, right? Allow report readers to personalize visuals to suit their needs. Okay, so we've gone through some of the core settings to get this working, right? Let's now publish this up. Let's publish it up to dataset 6, video games. All right, tell you, I'm going to replace it, yep. Right, so we've got this published now. Let's go and have a look, see what that looks like, yeah? So here's our page. Now, if we go and have a look at dataset 6 in my workspaces, right, here it is. I've published an app already, but I'll just update it just so you can see what's happening. There's nothing special about it. Haven't made any particular things in terms of taking permissions out like that. In your environment, I'd probably recommend you tick to install the app automatically, right? Just makes things much easier. Okay, just going to click update the app. The rest are all the default settings. That was gone to the app. Alright, so here we are. This is what default app view that our end users are going to get used to seeing, right? Now, let us go to page 6, the last page we built, right? Let's pretend, for the sake of argument, I'm the guy in charge of what Nintendo. What's going on with Nintendo stuff? So I can pick and say, well, these are the things I'm interested in, right? These are the platforms I'm most interested in because that's my job, right? So that's what I've set up. This is my filter set that I've set up. And I can go away, and let's pretend it's now the next day. I've come in, I've gone into Power BI, back to app.powerbi.com/home. Remember, that's the only link you should be sharing about Power BI stuff, right? And I'm going to go into my Game Boy report, and I can see, oh, the platform filter's there. Brilliant. So I can come through, go to page 6, and it's already report filtered for what I need, yeah? Right? That's easy. That's not a problem. But suddenly, I need to be able to compare Nintendo and Sony and see what's going on with the two. So if I went through and I clear the filter and I go and pick the Nintendo stuff, so the PlayStation, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, for example, right? That's great, I've now got that, but how do I go back to the Nintendo? So that's a problem. Straight away, we've got an issue. This is where personal bookmarks come in. So if I go and add a personal bookmark here and say this is Sony and save it, right? And then I'll clear that stuff and let's pick the Nintendo ones that we had before, 3DO, not Dreamcast, DS, Game Boy, Game Boy Advanced, yeah? Bookmark that, add that as a personal bookmark. Nintendo, I can go in between the two. So I can come in and say, well, today we're looking at Sony and we're looking at Nintendo, right? So that's all well and good, right? Then someone clever comes along and goes, oh, I need to be able to do that for PC. So we can clear the filtering on platform, click the rubber, let's pick PC, job's a good one. We could go and bookmark PC for them, right? But then they're saying, hang on, oh, it doesn't make sense to us now, like, that just looks stupid, I want it different. We've got a new icon here, we can personalize this visual, right? Still a preview feature, so there's still an issue with this, I'll tell you about it in a second. But if we've gone through and say, well, look, let's pick genre for you, right? That'll make sense. So you can see actually what's happening within the genres on the PC games front, right? This makes perfect sense for. We can understand what's going on with this. And I can then go and bookmark. Okay. And this is now stored as part of the PC bookmark, right? The bit that's bust is this won't change back if I pick different bookmarks, right? I have to reset the default. We can see reset the default, pick me Sony, and we can see here's me Sony breakdown, right? I could go and pick me Nintendo, here's me Nintendo breakdown, right? And then I can come and pick PC, and you can see suddenly it switches to genre. Now, hopefully this is going to come through where the bookmarks will remember visual personalizations. I think I've heard it mentioned that this is coming. But I thought I'd show you it now. But the big thing to remember is, because this happens, right? And this was one of the things I had a lot of people complaining. So, oh, I didn't want me customers being able to fill in the reports and change it, and it causes them problems, right? All they have to remember to learn today is to come here and just click reset the default. So if for any reason your customer's coming in, or they're ringing you and saying, oh, this report doesn't look right, something's terrible has happened, the whole thing has gone all wrong. Have you got reset the default there, boss? Yes. Click it. So they click reset the default. It comes up. Do you want to reset? Right. This is now how it was shipped out of box. Right. And I guarantee that will fix like a big chunk of the issues that you get. And from my experience, the amount of people that have, oh, it's not showing the right numbers. It's terrible. It isn't working properly. And we'd have a look. Right, you'd do a screen share, you'd go through all sorts of stuff with them, right, and you'd find out that they'd updated a visual level filter or something, or done something else, right, and the quickest and easiest thing to do was just tell them, reset the default, to the point that now, if anyone reaches out to me, oh, my report's not showing correctly, have you hit reset the default? Yes. Then I'll get involved, right? If they haven't, we tell them to hit reset the default, get them back to the default out the box view, right? Doesn't break your bookmarks that you've got. As you can see, it's great. I can get into my Sony, I can get into my Nintendo. Bookmarking these has saved a lot of hassle for me, for my whatever it is. But if they were here and they go, well, I needed to go to the Sony report and it's got showing these genres, it's not what I wanted. Reset the default, man, right? And then you can get them back to your bookmarks, okay? You'll find that you get much more out of that information that you've got. And you'll also find that these little insights that people are picking on start to shape the next data projects that you're going to do, the next evolutions within your business. And all of a sudden, you've become a data-driven organization. And it's all started, and that whole control, governance, rigidity that you thought you needed, it's not needed. What's needed is that mindset that it's all right to explore, it's okay to expand, it's okay to not have that rigid, this is what I will do today with my data, as a mindset or as a driver. So have a think on it. Please give us your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, right? I hope you're enjoying our channel, and we'll catch us all on Friday, yeah? Champion.